Of Iowa follow the news, and there are a lot of independents in Iowa. Here's what I want to pop up for Ann, and as I bring it up right now, I just want to say, despite what the former president just said, I've known Ann for a long time, and I've known her work for a long time. She's one of the best in the business, Anderson, and she's absolutely right. The data is what the data is, and you report the data, and then you talk about it. So here's interesting, Ann, in your poll, among female voters in Iowa, overall, a 20-point gap, 56 to 36%, number one. And now I want to bring up, independents. You're always looking late in a campaign. Where are the independents going, right? If the Democrats are loyal to their candidate, the Republicans are loyal to theirs, where are the independents going? These are independent female voters in Iowa. Look at that. Wow. 57 to 29. My question for you, Ann, would be, why? The 6-week abortion ban in Iowa took place a couple months ago. Trump has been pretty dark in his rhetoric in recent days, insulting the vice president quite a bit. Is it something she's saying, something he's saying, something within Iowa that's changing the climate, all of the above?
I'm going to go with all of the above because I can't single one thing out. I will note that our previous polls this year, in February and in June, Trump led with independents.
Right.
So what happened between June and September? Biden left the ticket. Kamala Harris joined it. There was a surge of enthusiasm. We saw it. There was a surge in the proportion of people we talked to who said they would definitely vote. That was our criterion in June. And now we have an additional criterion if you've already voted. And especially among older people, it's over 90% incidence of people that we talk to in that age group who say they're going to vote, and they tend to vote for Kamala Harris, and women in that age group specifically and strikingly.
And let me ask you something, and I don't want to geek out here because you sort of touched on it, but we hear a lot of pollsters, and Nate Cohn wrote about this in the New York Times this morning, talking about non-response bias, that to try and explain why polls have been so off in the past few cycles in capturing some of this infusion of Trump voter that they hadn't spoken with and hadn't been included in their sample. And so they've tried to find ways to weight their polls to account for that and cut that number down. You don't believe that is that's the way to go. Explain it.
Well, I can control what I can control. I can weight to known population parameters.
By the way, when you say
So
weight,
we talk-
I think a lot of people don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It will sound very anti-democratic. It's some people get a little bit more than one vote, and some people get a little bit less than one vote. So if we end up in our sample and we take a sample of all adults in the state of Iowa, and if we've got too many who are older or too many that are women, we adjust it to look like the census. So we're weighting within congressional districts because they're not all aged appropriately. Some of them have state universities and so on. But we want to adjust our data so it looks like a cross-section of the state of Iowa.
The court order paused it, and there's obviously been days since the Supreme Court rescinded the pause here. So why was October 14th the last day if the executive order said to do data?
So we stopped prior to the last day of to October 15th, which is, I think it was the close of the books, perhaps, the last day to register to vote in Virginia. And so that sort of naturally, that's normally when we close out our list maintenance practices.
Rick Yarborough, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Can you confirm if any DOJ observers have arrived at local precincts, and if so, which ones, and if any issue with them being allowed inside? Just wanted to get an update on that.
Yeah, we haven't heard any information about that today. All right, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you again at 4 o'clock.
All right, so that was the Virginia Department of Elections giving that Election Day update. They just said that their next one will be slated for 4 o'clock Eastern time, so giving you that update. And then on the right side of your screen, people exercising their right to vote in real time. So that top right box, a live look out in Philly as ballots are being processed. And then that bottom box, a live look out in El Segundo, California. A voting location. Looks like an argument is going on right there. So we're going to go ahead and switch the screen. Several people exercising their right to vote on this election day. And we want to hear from you. Send in your I voted pictures to us right here. Live now, fox.com/connect, or scan that QR code on your screen. A few we want to show to you as we go to a quick 2-minute commercial break. This one coming from Nicholas Payne out in Dublin. I just moved back from Taiwan to the U.S. just in time to cast my vote, he says. Voting is one of the most vital responsibilities we have as citizens. Go vote and be the change you want to see. Smart man there, Nicholas, in positive, encouraging words on this election day. Lori Weatherly sending this in. First-time voter for our youngest, and that made today the first time our family was able to go vote together. Special in